What's going on, everybody? It is the trenches. It is time to award $5,000. We were at 12. We dropped to 2. Tonight, it goes to one champion, $5,000. Our two competitors got to pick from every NFL player in the league to form a roster to take the other one down. Alex Whitlock, the dark horse, versus Jordan Thomas of True Serum Football. Someone's walking away with $5,000. It's all happening tonight. It's the trenches. It's a championship. It's the episode we've all been waiting for. It's all going down right now. Wow. Here we go. It is time to get this going. Roop, there it is. Before we bring in the contestants, it's a championship round, man. This is it. This is what all the work has gone for. This is where all the strategy, everything that these players have done has led up to this night, to this moment right now. $5,000 on the line. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, pushing them a lot, putting them through the trenches, literally and figuratively, however you want to say it. They had a great time, so I hope. And I'm really excited to see who the winner is. And hopefully they're a little bit shocked, too, who actually ended up winning.
Yeah, if a lot of people don't know, let's bring in our championship contestants, True Serum Football's Jordan Thomas and the dark horse Alex Whitlock. I'm the only one on screen who actually knows who won this thing right now. My co-host with the most, Roop, there it is, loves to remain in the dark because he loves having as much fun as you guys. And I say it's fun for us. How fun is it for you? We'll start with you, Alex.
No, normally I like to know. This week I just said, look, let's keep it a secret. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah,
Let's
Jordan,
just not add up any numbers.
Jordan, how are you feeling? Going into this, not knowing how this is all going to turn out.
So the only thing that you've said incorrect is that only one of us knows the outcome, because I knew before these games even started I was taking it home, baby. So let's read those results. Let give me my check and let's get the hell on up out of here.
That's what I'm talking about. I love the confidence. The truth of the matter is it was a crazy week. We know this, not just because of the tragedy. We know we've gone an extra week because of it, but just you guys literally have no idea who the other one played. You literally don't know what the score is. And it's I can tell you right now that it's closer than any of you think. And it's going to be awesome. It's you guys are going to, I'm telling you, we're going for a ride. Who else coming along for a ride? Let me bring in Gladys. Gladys,
hey guys.
One of our players from this year. Welcome back. I'm sorry that it's under the circumstances of you not being in the championship, but I'm glad that you were able to join us tonight. Welcome back to the trenches. What are you thinking about this last show here?
I didn't know because I wasn't in the last show, so I didn't know it was like a DFS format. I think it's awesome. I was trying to think what players they would pick, and I have no idea except that I know that Alex probably picked Saquon Barkley because he was trying to get him all season long from us. So he probably has him in his. But other than that, that's just, it's an awesome format, and to keep it secret is even better. It's even better.
It's hard to do with a group like yours because you guys were sharing, a lot of information all year and stuff like that. But we tried to make it so it would be harder to do that this time. I guess the contestants could talk, but they assure us that they haven't because they're trying to have as much fun. How did you feel about this entire season? I know there were parts that you didn't like, but overall, how did you feel about this whole experience?
Overall, it was a great experience. Yeah, I mean, the parts I didn't like were probably, of course, parts where I didn't score well. So there's a direct correlation between, not liking and scoring low. So, but overall, it was really good. It helped me understand fantasy a lot more. I realized there was a lot of players that are really, really good that I didn't know, and it helped me. It kind of brought the community a little closer together, kind of like the Scott Fish Bowl, because you're playing with people you've never, like, all of the players I've never, before this contest, I've never met, and to meet them and to follow their content now it's super special. And that was what I derived from it. It was super special to do that. It was super special to have a charity to play for. It was, all of it was just, overall, like I said, it was a good experience. I wish I'd played a little bit better, but that's me and not the contest. So it was really good.
Well, I mean, you guys made the semifinals, and before I let Roop come in, because I know he's got some questions as well, but you brought up the charity. You guys made the most money. You and your teammate Nikki Guest by far and away brought in the most money. It was about $700 for your charity, which is just amazing work. I know you were responsible for a lot of that. Being able to do that, I mean, I know it feels good, but was it expected? I don't know. I guess just speak on that a little bit more about being able to make that kind of difference, because I know that charity means a lot to you personally.
Yeah, it probably saved me from like going and adopting like 2 or 3 more dogs, because I'm like, we're getting money for the charity. They'll be okay. But to be able to do that, to be able to see each week more money come in, to have the money tied to the waiver wire, I think was a spectacular idea, because each week you want to get that waiver wire money. So each week you're like hustling to get people to donate to the charity. And the Dumb Friends League, the charity that I played for, is a really good, it's one of the really good animal shelters, no-kill animal shelters out here in Colorado. And to be able to give them money to help, it just added to the goodness that was the contest. I think it just gives you more incentive, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys doing that more than you know.
Yeah, you guys did an amazing job, Roop.
Yeah, amazing job all around, actually. Having women also in fantasy is wonderful. You guys were an amazing team, made the finals or the semifinals. And even my wife made the finals in her league. So I'm saying there is a place for women in this sport. And I want all of them to come out and just come out and just clean sweep some of these leagues, because some of these guys are talking too much trash, and we got to stop that. We even, so I really enjoyed having you guys, and everything, your charity, all of it was wonderful and great. We got Chris over there sitting back on the green screen too. So
yeah, we got a few players coming on tonight. I'll let you talk to the contestants because I'm sure you probably have something to say to the finalists as well. But just before we do that, Roop had kind of touched on the fact with the female stigma and all that, and we had talked about that with Nikki on the last show. Do you feel any connection to that, or is it just everybody playing fantasy for you? I mean, that's what we want it to be ultimately, is everybody playing fantasy, but there is a stigma, and it's nice to see you and Nikki make it to the semifinals like that.
No, I think there's a stigma. There's a stigma for females playing fantasy. There's a stigma for females writing content. Like, I've had people, when they find out that I'm a girl, say, "Oh, you're a girl. I'm not going to like follow your content, or I'm not going to listen to your content." I think the stigma's still there. I think it's not as bad as it was. There are people like you guys, there are people like the Fishbowl, there are people like the Warrior who actively try to make sure that there are women included, which is completely awesome. So the stigma's still there, but it's not as bad as it was when I first started, and there are an influx of women, I feel, that are playing not just women only leagues, but are getting into leagues that are diverse. And I think that's the most important thing, is that they just slide on in and do the best they can.
Yeah, I don't think my wife has gone a year without making the playoffs. I know, like he said, his wife is a very active player, made the finals there as well. You guys obviously made the semifinals. I don't see it as women playing fantasy football. I see players who happen to be women. But with that said, I don't want to take more time away from you and the finalists. Do you have anything? Do you have a favorite? Do you have anything that you want to say to them? I'm just going to turn it over to you, free mic for yourself right now.
Do I have a favorite in the finalists? Well,
out of these two right here.
I have to be for Alex because Jordan beat us. So I mean,
would you want me to win?
No, I don't.
Because then you lost the champ at least, right?
I don't want you to win. I want us to win, but we can't. So I'm gonna go for not Jordan. But honestly, it was a joy to play with both of you. It was like when we went up against both of you, even you beating us, Jordan, because I didn't understand shit. It was an honor to play against you guys. You guys played a clean, fair game all the time, and you were always, except for Jordan in the first week against Average Joe Sports, but that's something else. That has nothing to do with me, so it's okay.
Week one was crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about the two finalists. I was watching them throughout the season and early on, and I was thinking these guys might actually make the finals, with Alex over there just chewing on stuff in the mic early on in the season, and then Jordan playing cutthroat week one. I mean, I was like, okay, so this is what we're dealing with. Okay, we got to watch these two, and here we are at the end.
Yeah, and they didn't just get there; they got there by football acumen too. You know what I mean? I mean, cutthroat aside, and whatever, they got there by football acumen, and I appreciate that. I appreciate people playing straight up. Jordan.
Yeah, as did you guys, you and your partner making the semifinals. I'm going to send you back to the green room for now. Feel free, like I said, we're going to bring everybody back from the green room at the end of this thing. If you're there, we'll be happy to have you back on, just in case you get called away. It was a pleasure absolutely having you on the show for the season and tonight for the championship show. Thank you so much for stopping by, and just thank you so much for your competitiveness all season.
Thank you, guys. Good luck, both of you, actually. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Rube.
All right. I'm going to bring in another competitor that we had during this season, Chris from Patriot Sports Radio. Chris, thanks for joining us. Didn't make quite as deep a run as Gladys did, but you guys still did make a pretty deep run, trying to overcome the odds. I know there are definitely some game breakers that took you down, but just if you don't mind, kind of, recap your experience, how you felt about the show.
Yeah, the show was amazing, guys. It was a lot of fun. We did get, it feels like we probably could have kept our head in it a little bit more, but life was so busy for some different twists and turns took in my life in the middle of this that wasn't expected, and I just didn't have my head wrapped around it quite as much as I should have. And let me tell you, if you guys are going to play the trenches, you better get your head in it, because it ain't fantasy football like you know it. It's just not. And I guarantee you could go back and watch every episode 300 times to get ready for next year, and it's not going to help you, because these guys they're going to flip the script. It just won't be the same.
If we do our job right, it shouldn't help too much. But you guys, you and Chris, I mean, it's got to be tough enough. Is it tougher, do you think? And this is nothing against Chris at all.
Eric.
I know you guys were the dynamic duo and stuff like that. Do you think it was harder to play as a team? Do you think it would have been easier to play as an individual, or did it actually help having a teammate there?
I think it's a double-edged sword. It kept us from making split-second decisions that needed to be made, and it also, I think Eric's going to get this, and we didn't communicate super well. It's a double-edged sword. I think personally it's easier to play this single. like just one person. Just make all the decisions, and you're going one direction. You know which way you're going.
Chris, was there ever a time where you and him didn't agree on something and you had to flip a coin or something? And okay.
Yeah. Usually we would go with Eric because he's way smarter than me when it comes to like stats and such. And then
So
sometimes I would win. Sometimes I would go all alpha and shit.
Like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. The Kyle Pitts. What the
Kyle Pitts was a big thing this season.
Kyle Pitts. Oh, speaking of the host, he just walked into the studio. He'll get his stuff set up in a little bit.
We'll look for him in the green room shortly.
Other than that, hey, that was a blast. And you know what? We should have made some phone calls. These guys, these two that you're looking at here in the finals, they hustled on the back end with other teams. And some week, like JT, he'll stab you in the back week 1 and he'll make a slick deal week 2. You know, it's just whatever it called for. He just handled that business. Even if it is like, we're not going to jack with the breaker. You keep yours, I'll keep mine. However, you know, everybody was doing. It was kind of like Big Brother. It's just not just fantasy. You know what I wish we could do is all live in the same house for the season. That is where that would be phenomenal. But
hey, there is another gentleman who that's exactly what he's trying to do. This is not just Trench's thing. This is a movement. You're going to see a lot of this in individual competitions and league competitions. We just happen to be out here. We're fortunate enough to be able to do this first. But what's phenomenal about this is already taking off. There are already people trying to do this. And it's funny that you say that because there is another guy who's trying to do exactly that and put everybody in the same house. And best of luck to him. I think it'll be really cool once he's able to make that happen. Who do you got in this one, Chris?
I got to go with my tag team partner, JT. We are the reigning 2022, coming in now the second year champions of Fantasy Feud over at TSS.
There it is.
Nobody can hang with our stuff.
That's right.
We're just big.
So we got 1-1 for JT and Alex. Chris, again, stick around for the end of this thing if you can. Thanks again for hopping on just for a few minutes. We'd love to have you back again later on in the show. We're going to send Chris back to the green room. We're going to do one more. We're going to progress a little bit, and then we'll hit some more guests that have shown up. I want to bring in Adam Holst. Adam, fantastic story. Riding last place all the way to the end of the season, knocking a couple people out during the playoffs, weren't able to get this far. But you know, you played the game extremely well, and you played it some people were playing to win. You were really playing to survive, and it worked for as long as it could.
Well, you know, that was kind of at a necessity for a lot of the time. I mean, my whole roster got wiped clean. I think it was 3 times, starting with after week 1. So I felt like all year was kind of an uphill battle for me. I had to get a little bit scrappy, had to play more of the strategy because, you know, simply put, my roster was not as good as most of the teams in the league because I was always scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Roop, did you see a bad roster, or did you just see something that we all kind of had to deal with this entire season? And that was players that were supposed to perform not performing, especially at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season was a little sketchy, so you could like lose the roster, but it was also trying to put one back together. And then, of course, every year in fantasy, we see it. The injury bug pops up, and if that happens for some of your top players, you can pretty much count yourself out. I'm in a championship and won one this year, and I was last place at the same time. So yeah. It's like, what are you going to do? And what we talked about on the other show was how many people really shit the bed at one given week. You know, it was like 15 people in the playoffs 1 week got like under 5 points. It was terrible. So yeah, and that's why Adam was knocking people out, because his team was that everybody was ignoring him, and the top guys were striking out that week. So hats off to him with those wins.
Yeah, I know Roop has something for you, Adam. But as he asked this question, I'm pretty positive that you actually were voted best draft this year. I think you pulled down at least, the consensus top roster. People just weren't showing up. Go ahead, Roop.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that, he was like the underdog, and I'm a sucker for an underdog story. I love it. Like, come from behind, win, just take everybody out. And I was rooting for him because I often end up at the back of the pack because my number 1, number 2 pick gets hurt. So yeah, I was rooting for him. I was like, come on, and then I was like, he's gone. So now I have to root for these two guys.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was the underperforming. I was the lucky guy who had Kyle Pitts, of course, which we all know how that went. But after week 1, when Jordan, decided to pick that 187 after week 1, I lost 7 of my 9 starters after week 1. So it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah. So does that have any influence on your pick for the championship? Who do you got for this one, Adam?
This is a hard one to pick. I know both of these guys are super strategic. They play, a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff. I'm going to go with Alex though.
Oh,
there it is. So we got 2 Alex, 1 Jordan. Adam, we're again, the same thing as everyone else. We're going to put you back in the green room. If you're able to stick around, I hope you're able to. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes tonight. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you in a few more minutes.
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead and push this on. If you're in the green room, hang out. We're coming to you still. I want to remind everybody, like we said, that the competitors this week, they got to pick anybody in the NFL to put on their roster, standard roster, the quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, kicker, defense, and don't forget that almighty flex spot. And basically they did it in secret. We didn't do it on the app. And so it's just a matter of finding out who they picked and how they performed. Before we do that, let's get a little closer look. Let's remind you of our competitors. Alex, this one is for you, my friend.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey everybody, Alex Whitlock here from Coleman, Alabama. I enjoy pretty much anything in the outdoors and thought I'd join this competition to see how good I really am at fantasy football. Yeah, I'm going to start paying you guys off with fab dollars. Like after the week 1 game breakers, I came up massively on top with very little fab money spent. And now we sit here, there's no more wins before that happened. I only had 9 top 15 backs. I'm feeling all right, but I hadn't really run the numbers in depth. Just kind of looked at it and said, well, these guys scored a lot. I'm going to win because I make better choices faster than everyone else. I fully understand it. Yep. And that doesn't help me out at all. What it came to is I didn't have any wins. When you need a win, you got to do something crazy. But yeah, I traded away like 5 running backs. Let's run with your triangle that you made. So tight end to receiver 2. And then the receiver 2 score of your opposing team goes to your receiver 2. But what if your opponent wanted to infect that receiver 2? Did they get their original score or the new score that's their receiver 2 score back? Woo! I basically saw a little green add button beside, 2 of the number 1 draft picks that I'd originally wanted. Oh, yes. When I win the money, I'm going to book a nice trip to Nassau in the Bahamas. But, somebody's got to win. Win or lose, get it over with.
Host got joined.
I just got the jitters and started poking it and seeing what happened. And, oh, wow, they're on my team. And to my competitors, good luck. You're going to need it. Nut up or shut up. The big plan here is to use that fab money to my advantage.
Alex, congratulations. You're moving on.
Yeah. Wait, I'm not eliminated? Oh, wow. All right. Okay. Oh, this is not that bad.
There we go. Alex, how are you feeling? Oh, sorry. How are you feeling about this whole thing right now? We'll put it right there.
It's been fun so far. Been a great ride, man. Sad it's over with.
How are you feeling about tonight? I know we talked a little bit before the show. Rube, you can come in as well. And we talked a little bit before the show as well. And you said you really aren't sure how this is going, but overall feeling, I told you it's close, and it is. Did we pull this one out?
I mean, it's one of those things. I don't even look at what my guys scored when we had the Week 18 replacement players. Didn't even look at it. So
Better
going with what it
question.
was that?
Did you think you would be here? Obviously, you thought you would be here at the beginning of the season. There's a little rough patch. You go on a nice win streak at the end. Did you think that you were going to make it here?
I had a pretty good feeling. Right about the time I started actually getting wins, get a couple in a row, and then I'm like, looking at the team I have now, if I hold this team and keep some fab in the budget to pick up some other guys, yeah, I'll be there.
You did have a big fab. You played the fab game a lot. It was a little bit about the fab in the clip there. As the season went on, were you feeling more comfortable with your fab? Like this is going to make a difference and it's going to get me where I need to go, or how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to depend on it in this kind of a scenario. Have to. And a lot of times when I've win bids, sometimes you'd be $50 to $75 over, but you can't get upset about it because you got the player you wanted.
Yeah. Rube, can we bring Jordan back? And I'm going to bring in our next guest, one of the major competitors, 10-game win streak, well into the playoffs. A lot of people picked him to be in this spot, and it almost made it, David. Welcome back. It's good to see you. How are you feeling about, other than the fact you're not happy about not being here, how are you feeling about how everything played out otherwise? I think you're muted, David. There we go. Nope, not yet. That's all right. Dave's working on it. While David's working on it, Dave, we're going to bring you back in. I'm going to cut over to the other side of Patriot Sports Radio. Eric, we heard Chris's thoughts, double-edged sword with the team concept. If you had it to do again, and it's nothing against Chris at all, but given your preference, would you still come in with a teammate? Not necessarily, Chris, anybody, or would you probably take this on yourself?
No, I would still take on a teammate. I think it's more fun that way. I think I would encourage a meeting before the season to clearly define. I'm not a great communicator, so a lot of our problems were related to us not wanting to cross wires and being hesitant to do stuff. So I think there are a lot of advantages to having a teammate, but like you said, it's a double-edged sword.
How do you feel the way the season played out overall? What would you guys have probably done different given the chance?
Take a good player in the third round, like a wide.
Expand on that. Who did you guys get in the third round?
We took Kyle Pitts. I thought about Kyle Pitts the whole way over here.
I remember that very vividly.
An unproven second-year tight end. It goes against every philosophy I've ever held dear about fantasy football. You don't even think about a tight end until year 3.
Yeah. Did you hang on too long?
Maybe, but what are you gonna once you draft a tight end? I mean, that's until an Okawabanam or somebody breaks out. That's who you got.
Yeah.
If you swing for a tight end in the early rounds, you can't miss, because you're throwing away an opportunity to draft a top 12 wide receiver, possibly a top 12 running back. It's a heavy cost, and it's always been a strategy of mine, because in home leagues, I can make up for that. I can throw a 3rd round pick and make up for that later with 6th round wide receivers that they don't know about. But you can't pull that shit in the trenches.
Yeah, you had a lot of competition, a lot of years. You're right. The home leagues are a little bit different. You could probably pull that, especially when you have a favorite player or somebody you're hoping to break out. You can't really hope for a breakout in the third round. You got to wait like the 6 to the 10. And you're right. I messed up in my draft as well. And I went too early QB. I tried to do tight ends late. And one year I just needed tight ends and couldn't find one. It's just every year there's just one thing we get wrong during the draft and it costs you the whole season. So I'm right there with you. I totally understand it. I get it. I messed up too. And I feel your pain.
I can't believe
Chris?
how sold I was on that kid.
Not
Chris,
next year.
I believe Rick, Alex, who you got in this one, Eric?
Oh, I mean, our guy, the champion of fantasy football, Captain Chaos, Jordan Thomas.
He did. Both of you guys took Jordan.
I just want to comment on the way out. Eric gave me like the death sentence. I didn't think I'd be able to work with anybody anymore because he's like, if you guys don't get Jordan out, you guys are stupid or something.
Yeah,
He did exactly that.
anybody who cuts this dude any slack, you're fucking up. Because this is what was gonna happen.
And there he is. Chris, I know you got some things going on. I don't know if you'll be able to stick around, but hopefully you are. Hopefully you're there at the end. If you are, we'll bring you back in. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with us on the championship show. Sorry that you aren't here, but I hope that you're getting something out of this. And it sounds like, lessons learned. And I guess if any experience doesn't go right, at least you got that, right?
Yep, we win or
thanks,
we learn,
Eric.
Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, Eric. Again, I hope you'll be there at the end. We'll talk to you shortly if you are. Let's bring David back real quick for a few minutes. David, how are we doing?
I made it, man. How you doing?
There we go. We got it. David, real quick, how'd you think about, what do you think about your experience on the trenches? Would you do it again?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
What was your kind of takeaway from this whole thing?
That I'm a lot smarter than I give myself credit for.
Yeah, you did well.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
Confidence. I'll be back next year, man. I need another invite.
You could hear it throughout the season. You could hear your confidence build. You came in hoping to win, and then as the year went on, you knew you had a shot at it, and you 100% did. You really took this entire league for a ride.
Oh man, I know you said 10 game streak. It was 13.
It was 13 with the playoffs. It was absolutely
13.
Yeah.
I'm calling it 13. I didn't get eliminated, but no, man, it was a lot of fun. I like it a lot. I was really happy to be here. Really excited to be here. Win or lose, just give me something to do.
Yeah, I just want you to know that I knew someone who had a first round bye for the playoffs. He only had 2 losses on the season and lost that first game that he came in. So I was like, and to somebody who had people on IR in their lineup, like it was the most terrible thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's
and
awful.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to stomach that. I've never had a double-digit win season that I can recall. In an 8-team, 10-team, 12-team, whatever. So I know that's got to hit a little down in the stomach. But you played an amazing game the whole time. I looked at your team. I'm like, how's anyone going to beat this guy? And whether you're hogging quarterbacks or
loaded.
not. Yeah, it's just loaded, and the scariest part about the loaded teams is just like this championship between the final 2 people. You don't know who's going to show up this week, or who's not. So,
well, that's a real problem to have. I mean, it's a struggle. Who should I start, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? That's a real conversation you have to have, and you feel disgusting whenever you leave one on the bench, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Every
week,
every week start your studs, but you can only start so many. David, who you got? You've worked with both of these guys throughout the season. I mean, you mastered strategy, a master strategist throughout the whole thing, just with your fab and everything else. So I think we lost David. No, I definitely want to find out who he's going to have. Hopefully he'll be back.
He was going for me. I got to vote.
What's that?
I got to vote. I got to vote.
You got to vote. Hold on to your vote. Hold on to your vote.
No, he's voting for me to win.
Oh, he's voting for you.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
For you. I think Alex did too. Alex, was it Alex who guaranteed that you would be here?
Yes, I did.
We're gonna hear. Go ahead.
I do want to just chime in here because as this season progressed, right early on, I really hit it off with Cooper. I love the PSR guys. Those are my dudes.
Yeah.
I really made some really good friendships and alliances, right? But as this game progressed, man, I would not be here without two people. One of them is Alex, one of them is Chef. And I don't think people realize like the three of us really were like running everything by each other. And it was amazing, man. Chef has become one of my best friends in this world. He's an amazing dude, amazing competitor, and frankly, he deserves to be in this seat just as much as Alex or I do.
Yeah, I think everybody in this league was highly deserving, and that's nothing issue two being here. I think it's great that you two are here, but I think anybody that played in this league could have been here this year if something had fallen a different way at a different time. It's funny you bring up, we've heard Big Brother. I know you're a big Survivor fan and all that. We're going to drop out here for a second, and Jordan Thomas, this one is for you.
My name is Jordan Thomas. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, but have lived in Bentonville, Arkansas for the past 20 plus years. I am co-owner, content curator, and lead personality for the best podcast in the business, Truth Serum Football. I'm going to win a 6-man every time. I'm just saying.
Jordan versus Elio. Pay attention. Get the popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want this one. Jordan barely getting the win. Now, you two had also come up with an agreement. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a gentleman's agreement in place.
So the score should pretty much stay the same, obviously.
You change his name from Lion Syrup, from Truth Syrup to Lion Syrup. Picking up username there.
So unfortunately, I'm pulling out the knife, stabbing my man Elio in the back. But
there we
Elio,
go.
It's not all bad.
Oh, we're playing.
There we go.
I'm only taking away Gerald Everett just to secure the victory.
Oh, that's a cold ass honky.
These other guys, they may think what it takes. Nuh-uh. They're not ready for me. They're burnt toast, and I'm the perfect recipe. Yeah, no, this was 100% my move.
You lost a significant amount of your roster. Tell me what's going through your head at this point.
I'm Captain Chaos over here, so my goal since day one has just been to wreak havoc on everybody's minds, and it kind of worked after that 187 game breaker. Mix in a few cups of Russell Hantz, sprinkle in some Mike Boogie, and wrap it in a quarter of a century of football knowledge. It's bon appetit, baby. Did what I had to do. Survive and advance. I'll see you guys at Final Tribal Council. That was a group stabbing, though. I was trying to stab everybody in the back that time. My goal is to come in and wreak havoc from the first snap. Yeah! Going into the matchup, it was anything but a sure thing, I'll tell you that. So, the plan all along, trot Derek Carr out. Next week when he goes on bye, I have Tom Brady to cast off Carr for a more appealing waiver wire acquisition.
So strategy, like long-term, I mean, you're going all the way out, not just for this week on this one.
I will take great pride in throwing my virtual arm around my fallen contestants and walk them out. I threw my $5 out there, did what I can, and just going to go with the punches. Not really much else to say. It's all right, and I'll figure it out. I'm Captain Chaos, man. I got to break the chaos a little bit. My amazing wife, Nasa, my two beautiful kids. Winning this money will help me take a huge step in accomplishing some of our growth goals. just trying to make it, Nick. My bank account can taste the deposit already. By the end of this week, I was trying to sell Brandon Ayuk for $5 to anybody that would take him. Woo! Yeah.
And there we go. Look, guys, we could do this all night. I love talking about it, but at some point, we kind of got to be about it. I think it's about time to go ahead and get this show rolling. Jordan and Alex, this is it. I mean, this is the last last spot, the last chance to find out, to say something, I guess, before we find out how it's all going down.
I just want to thank you guys. Those video packages were amazing. I enjoyed both of them thoroughly. But we ran with the punches all season. We had a bunch of stuff thrown at us, but at the end of the day, the one thing that if I could give you guys all the kudos in the world on is the group of competitors that you brought together for this competition. When I came into this thing, I was so confident, so cocky. I was like, man, these guys have no chance. But man, you guys found some really, really good football minds, personalities, and strategists, man. A guy like Alex, a guy like Chef, I don't see them have the, Patriot Sports Radio thing going or the TSS or riding like Gladys or Adam. But man, those dudes were sharks in the water. So thank you guys for everything, and specifically, I am so glad I got to be a part of this and meet everybody and play with each of you guys. And I really meant it when I said in a few weeks, we should definitely run this back. Maybe no money on the line, but I would love to play with everybody in this competition one more time, at least.
I see
Right
a
on.
league coming. I see a league coming next season.
Yeah, you got to see that, don't you? Alex?
Oh, I just think it was a great experience. I mean, that's the most fun I've had. I played around 10 to 15 leagues a year. So, I mean, that's hands down best experience so far. I think everybody was really on the same level, just like Jordan said. Getting the people in that had enough knowledge to be competitive can be kind of hard, especially if you don't have like a specific resume of, yeah, here's my wins and losses and whatnot. But I just think it was really competitive, a lot more competitive than I thought it would be. Because I was getting real humble about week 5.
Dude, for the longest time, Alex's only win and Adam's only win were both against me. For weeks, it was just me that had lost to those guys.
In the first 6 games, I had 1 win.
There you go. And here we are in the championships. Guys, it's been fun. It's been memorable. Thank you for the kind words. Sincerely. I'm sure we'll expand more on that later. But right now, it's time to find out who's going to win this fight.
Here we go. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. I said microphone check. 1, 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me.
It's time. It's still time. Here we go, guys. Look, let's talk about the obvious. You guys can pick anybody in the NFL roster. You guys are going to take Travis Kelce. It's just going to happen, and you guys both did it. The only problem is Travis Kelce didn't live up to the standards, but when you both have him, it doesn't really matter. Tight end 1 for the year, puts in his 4th lowest score of the year, comes in at tight end 15, but you guys managed to pull down the same points. No big deal there. Comeback player of the year, I think probably pretty well locked up. RB2 for the year, finishes RB2 the week you guys played in week 17 at Las Vegas. Las Vegas was number 17 against the run. They were number 24 against the run over the last 3, and CMC made them pay. Went 121 through the air, 72 on the ground, threw a toddy in there. It was a great pick. Unfortunately, it's a push, but it was the right pick for both you to make. And then wide receiver 1 on the year, again, an easy pick, who just decided not to play in week 17. I don't know. The deal there, of course, is they're at Green Bay. Green Bay is number 6 against the pass on the year, but they're number 27 over the last 3. So over the last 3, you think this might be a good run, but they were at home. They are number 4. They're number 4 in away games, but they are number 2 at home. So maybe that has something to play with it. Puts up 1 catch for 15 yards, took the day off, but both of you are probably a bit happy to see him on the other person's roster as well. So this is how we're looking after the people that you guys matched up the same. It's a push. You guys share 50.35 points. And now it's time to get into the guys that are going to decide it all. These are the ones. You guys only matched 3 players, which was surprising.
That's very surprising.
Yeah. How are you guys feeling right now, knowing that you guys matched 3 players, the 3 players that you matched, but there's still a lot of variation to be had out there?
I am stunned. I thought for sure we would have picked all of the same wide receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look at it, those 3 guys, number 1 in each of their positions. So you're probably going to match up with those. I mean, like it was CMC or maybe Eckler, that's about it.
For me, Kelsey was a really hard one because I knew Alex was going to go Kelsey. Like to me, that was the no-brainer of all of this. There's a handful of great wide receivers, handful of great running backs. There's Travis Kelsey. There's every fucking body else on the tight end side. And so I really thought, like, man, maybe I could get an advantage here. But then I told myself, man, you got to cancel out these points because you'll never forgive yourself if you trot out Dalton Schultz or Darren Waller or somebody and Travis Kelsey just erupts on you. So I went with Kelsey, and I figured that would definitely be a lock with both of us.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz would have been the guy to pick. But like you said, you guys split Kelsey. He was the no-brainer. We there it is, and myself talked about that. We knew Kelsey. We had already wrote him in. We knew he was getting picked. And I agree with you. I think you both made the right move there. So let's get into the players that are going to win someone $5,000. Dark horse taking a kicker goes with Mayer. Kicker number 1 on the season, finishes the week at kicker number 8, 2 field goals, 3 extra points against Tennessee. Went for the Thursday night game. Was that what drew you to him, or was it the fact that he was kicker number 1 for the year?
Well, I just kind of looked at it, and I think the matchup was really what drew me to it. Because you look at a matchup on a Thursday night game, it's like, well, the Cowboys have a pretty good defense, and they got a spot kind of made in the playoffs. So they're probably going to rest, do a little bit more run game, and not so much go for those touchdowns. I don't think the game ended that way, but that's kind of the thought process moving in.
Well, there you go. Not to be outdone strategy-wise, you went with Butker. I know at the end of his performance, you're not happy, but honestly, Butker is kicker 29 in the league, finishes exactly where he's supposed to for the week as well at 29. What made you go with Butker not having the performance? And we know he was injured for a few games, and so that affects his numbers, but what made you pick Butker?
Really, I don't play in leagues with kickers. It's something that I swore off years ago. So this was kind of different for me playing with kickers again in this format. And so for me, Kansas City, highest powered offense, it really came down to Butker or McPherson. I assumed Alex would go with McPherson. You couldn't pay me enough money to put Brett Maher on my roster in this championship week. So,
and you're a Cowboys fan.
I am, and that's why I wouldn't go with him. But, you live and die by it, and, he didn't have the best game, but I'm not super concerned that my kicker's the guy that lost it for me.
Probably not. I will agree with you on that one. He's probably not the guy that won or lost it for you. Let's get into the defenses. Dark horse going with defense number 2 on the year, number 9 on the day. Dallas number 6 in the league for interceptions. Around week 17, there were 2 or 3 in sacks. There was a lot of exchange in week 18, actually. Going up against Tennessee, who had the 30th ranked pass offense, but they did have Henry. Tannehill had been sacked the 10th most amount of times. To go with that 2nd or 3rd ranking, what made you go Dallas defense, Alex?
Oh, Derrick Henry didn't play that game.
True story.
He was benched, and they went in with a third-string quarterback, Dobbs.
Was that the deciding factor for you? Was that what?
That was the deciding factor in the game. Actually, turned out
no
Dobbs
Henry. The
might be.
defense must do well.
Yeah. Don't think it worked out as well as I hoped it did, but nice idea.
We shall find out. On the other side, division rivals, the New York Giants, up and down defense. They finished in the league defense number 18, but on the week they actually finished ahead of the Cowboys at defense number 7. They played Indy. A lot to like there, honestly. The Giants are number 29 against the run overall, but over the last 3, they've been number 10, number 27 against the pass overall, but over the last 3, number 17. Point being, they've been playing well, and they were going up against Indianapolis. Is that the line of thought there?
So first and foremost, I avoided that Thursday night game at all costs. I was concerned Dallas was going to start benching people before that game, just because I thought Tennessee would be such a laydown. But man, the Giants are coming, and don't ever. I hope Nikki's not watching because I hope she never hears that come out of my mouth. But Kayvon Thibodeau's a freaking monster. That dude is men amongst boys. And I mean, the Colts are as incompetent of an offensive unit as you get in the NFL. So to me, this was one of my easier picks.
Sure. And it paid off. You edge out Dark Horse's defense a little bit there. We'll see just how much at the end. We'll see if it was a $5,000 decision. So we get more into the money positions. Dark Horse taking Ezekiel Elliott all over this Thursday night game. RB21 on the year, actually finishes at RB27 for the week. Pollard was out. I know you were looking for a lot more out of Elliott. I believe it's 19 for 37, 1 touchdown. Tennessee, number 1 against the run. Number 1 against the run over the last 3, number 5 when playing at home for the year. What made you pick Zeke over someone else? I know Pollard was out. What made you think that this
I have a better shot at winning the lottery than the projections of the Titans finding a third down completion in this game.
Sure.
So it sounds to me, just basically everything I had researched, just like they have a running back. It's not a duo. It's not there's a timeshare. They have Zeke. Thought they might actually do something, considering the Titans are just going to bench it to keep a better draft pick.
Just didn't happen to play out as well as you thought. Not necessarily a bad thing for RB27, but definitely probably not as well as you were hoping.
It's after 10. It's a bad thing.
On the other side of the ball, True Serums Jordan goes back to the Giants, liking that matchup, liking that game, pulls in Barkley, RB5 on the year, but finishes at RB38 for this game against Indianapolis. Indianapolis 21, ranks 21st against the run for the year and over the last 3. Number 14 at away games. But look, I get it. Barkley's had double-digit points in every single game except 2. He's had 15 or more points in every single game except 3. And then he goes for 12 for 58 minus 5 receiving.
Yeah, it sucked. I thought for sure that Alex was picking Saquon. I thought his running backs would be Saquon and CMC. I thought these would be a total wash. But I mean, man, I had 0 shares of Saquon coming into this year. I didn't believe in him. I didn't believe in his health. I didn't believe in this team. He made me a believer again. When he came out, he was the best running back prospect I think we've seen in a long, long time. Injuries obviously have derailed him the last few years, but man, he's back in a big way. He did let me down on this game, but if I had to do it all over again, I would choose him every time. What sucks is the guy that I really split hairs with is the guy that won me quite a bit of championships this year was Jerick McKinnon. But again, it was, man, if you lose this because Jerick McKinnon, you'll never forgive yourself. So
I think that's really the play for all of them. So we get into some receivers. Dark Horse going with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek killing it all year. Wide receiver 2 finishes this week, week 17 at wide receiver 18 at New England, who had the 16th best defense, but they had the 31st pass defense over the last 3. So a lot of opportunity there, but they are number 4 in the league when playing at home, and you had no Tua. 55 and a touchdown. The touchdown, helps. I know you wanted more out of Hill.
That's one of those opportunities, just like Rufus said probably 4 times so far in this show. When the stars lay down, championships crumble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know, like I said, I know you wanted more out of here. What made you pick Hill with Tua out?
Well, you look back at the game footage and it's like, okay, out of all these receivers, who needs to play hard to get into the playoffs? And the Dolphins are one of those teams. They need the wins.
Mm-hmm.
And if basically you put in a backup or a rookie quarterback, whatever, they hyper target number 1 receiver. That's what they do. You're looking normally 10, 12 a game. Look at DeAndre Hopkins when they put the backup in. I can't remember his name, but Kyler Murray got injured. They put the backup in, and he gets like 12, 15 targets a game. Kind of expect the same treatment for Hill, and it's actually been proven with the same quarterback in previous games.
And then afterwards, in that flex position, you go ahead and put St. Brown. St. Brown, I mean, Detroit's been killing lately. They just been lighting it up. Wide receiver. St. Brown is wide receiver 7 on the year in the entire NFL. That's where he finishes. Guess I would challenge. I wonder who would actually have guessed that. Finishes this game at number 30. Chicago's defense, nothing special. Their pass defense, 17 on the year, 26 over the last 3. I mean, this was a great matchup that just let you down. 4 for 62, double-digit score since week 8 in all but 2 games. But the last 2 have only been 10 and 11 points. This one definitely had to let you down.
Yeah, and again, it's that same thing. You look at teams that need wins and have even just a small possibility to get in. They're going to play their starters. They're going to play hard. So that's the teams you got to bet on when it gets to late season games.
Roop, are we surprised at any of the picks here?
No, he's saying exactly how I'm thinking during my playoffs, during my draft. I'm looking for players that, they're probably going to need to play those final couple weeks. And those are the guys you want to put in. They're going to be playing somebody. Hey, this guy's going to have to get 10 to 12 targets, maybe a touchdown or 2. And I play the exact same way. And sometimes, you get ranked 30th. And sometimes, when you rank 7th, he's got to have a couple of number 1 games. But yeah, to get the 30 is, just a bummer because Alex is absolutely right. He should be out there getting 10, 12 targets a game. I don't know why he's not.
And that ends week 17. We're supposed to be able to keep rolling on right now. Unfortunately, we had a tragedy happen on the field. And thankfully, Denar Hamlin is good. He's out of the hospital. He's still undergoing tests, but he seems to be going to be all right. But because of that game, it entirely changes everything. And we have to go into week 18 to finish this out. Let's see what happens. Jamar Chase makes a roster. True Serum Football, it's your roster. Now you had the opportunity, both of you had the opportunity to change anybody that you had that did not play from week 17. You could have picked up anybody in week 18, even if it was the same player. You could have played CMC again. You could have played if your running back hadn't played, you could have played a receiver again if they hadn't played. As long as that position hadn't played, you could pick them again. You chose to stick with Jamar Chase. Jordan, it pays off. He's wide receiver 15 for the year because he had 4 weeks with injury. He finishes this week at wide receiver 5. It's a division opponent. They're trying to avoid a coin flip. Baltimore 26 in the league versus the past 22 when playing away games. He gets targeted 13 times, catches 8 of them for 86 yards and a touchdown. I mean, this was just kind of set up for success, and you saw it and said, it doesn't matter they didn't play Buffalo. He's still going to have a big game. Am I wrong?
No, man. So coming into this and trying not to give too much away here, but my guys all season, the 3 guys I drafted in almost every first round were at the wide receiver position. It was Justin Jefferson, it was Jamar Chase, and it's the other guy that we're going to reveal. Those are my dogs, and I ran with them all year. I strongly believe they're the 3 best players in the National Football League on the offensive side of the ball right now. Granted, going into that matchup against Buffalo, I thought that was it. I thought that was going to be the game of the season. It was going to be fireworks, a huge shootout. But when it all kind of came down, I was like, no, man, I'm still rolling with Jamar Chase, and I think it's going to pay off.
And it may have, it may not. Let's talk about that flex position you brought up. And he is one of the other top receivers in the league. It is Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 4 for the year, wide receiver 4 for the week. He comes through exactly how he's supposed to. 7 catches, 104, 1 touchdown. Had that nice long 49-yarder. Look, Buffalo was a team that was fired up. I don't blame you for blaming Buffalo at all. I said it, once Denard had woken up and things were looking good for him, I said Buffalo is the team that you do not want to play right now because these guys are going to be fired up. And you managed to get one of them in on your roster against a New England team that's number 31 against the pass over the last 3. You got to be feeling good because it's week 18. I know you were hoping to play him in that Cincinnati game, but it worked out for you playing him in this last week as well.
Yep, and I just want to say, so I have a group of individuals who I kind of hold in the highest esteem as far as their fantasy mind, and we have a group chat. It's called the Council, and so I bounce everything off of them. And so you were talking to Eric and Chris earlier about, is this easier to do solo or with somebody? I may not have had anybody on screen, but I had a group of 3 or 4 dudes that were I was bouncing stuff up off of all season long. I even had one of them call me because he works overnights. I had him call me to wake my ass up to make sure that I didn't miss one of the waiver wires earlier this season. But the biggest fight we had, the biggest argument was Stephon Diggs or Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I got outvoted 4-1, and I fucking went with my gut with Stephon Diggs, and it was the right call. So
there you go. I mean, number 4, number 7, both great backs. Just the matchups worked out better this week. Adam, I'm coming to you. Be ready. I see you over there.
I just want to say something real quick. I'm pretty sure that's my red zone is all the hours of red zone I watch. I'm pretty sure Jamar Chase almost had another touchdown. And I know Jordan didn't hurt when you saw 2 kickoff returns in the Bills game just go and they just absolutely lose the chance to play some offensive touches. Like, I know that hurt you a little bit watching.
I was definitely scared. I was definitely concerned, especially with I knew Chase was going to eat. I wasn't really as worried about him, but to me, when the 2 returns happened, I was really scared that it was going to impact his day.
Yeah,
Adam, how are you feeling about these rosters? Would you have done anything different? Were you surprised to see anybody there?
No, I mean, they kind of, they both kind of mentioned kind of sticking with your gut and trusting your research and, go with what got you there. So, I mean, I respect all their picks. They're all pretty much stud players. There hasn't been anything too, shocking, crazy dart throws in a matchup like this. When you have the whole field, you kind of just want to go with the best guys.
Gladys, same question to you. How are you feeling about these rosters?
I was surprised no one picked Eckler. That was the only thing. I'm surprised he went Zeke instead of Eckler. But other than that, Jordan's wide receivers are legit. And
I went Saquon just for you, Gladys.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan. I'm sorry to for you, but I don't think with your wide receivers that was a worry. But yeah, Eckler was the only surprise so far that no one chose him.
Yeah, I was really surprised at that as well. Eric, I'm coming to you. What are you thinking about what we've seen so far?
Eckler loves fantasy. Oh, okay, I am
unmuted. You're good.
I agree with Gladys. Eckler loves fantasy football. That's a well-known fact. So he's going to perform at the end of the season. That surprises me too.
Chris, how are you feeling about what we've seen about these rosters? Would you have done anything different?
Nothing surprises me. Just do what Jordan does. That's what you do in life. Do what Jordan does.
What would Jordan do?
So is that what the WWJD? That's Jordan now?
Yeah.
It is now.
What would Jordan do?
What would Jordan do?
Jordan should have got Eckler. But you know what? I say that
the only reason he didn't was because he's such a good guy.
Yeah, he's better. He's better at us than at football. That's
That
why.
better is that's why he's here and you're not, I guess.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
exactly. No, we are.
So-
Who's right?
So that leaves us with one position left. Thank you again to everybody. And it's the obvious position. It's the quarterback position. Dark horse taken sure to be this year's MVP with Hurts having those injuries, those injured weeks. I think Mahomes really has this locked down. QB1 for the year, finishes the week on week 18. And here's the fun part, kids. Both players had the same quarterback going into week 17, but because they were able to choose someone else for week 18, Alex went ahead and went with the MVP, Mahomes. He switched out 202, 1 touchdown going against Las Vegas, as we heard, with not a great pass defense. Again, he's the MVP. You know he's going to put up something. I think you probably expected a little bit more than that. I don't know.
What I was looking for was just, the basic, 250 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, something like that. Bad defense, give another 50 yards or a touchdown, 5, 6 points either way, something like that. But the problem is, and if you think about it, it's week 18. It's not week 17.
Yeah.
In week 18, if Mahomes performs and the Chiefs win, that really changes the seeding picture for everybody. So if you pick another quarterback, they may get benched halfway through the game or in the first quarter.
100%. I don't disagree with the choice at all. Like you said, he's QB1. They've got something to play for. I think it's a great pick. I'm not saying it didn't pan out. Look, like you said, 202 and a touchdown. Let's see where your opponent went. Your opponent stuck with Burrow, who you had originally. You switched him out. QB 18, but look, Burrow went 215 and 1 touchdown. He literally got 13 more yards to go with the touchdown. Easy pick. Again, they're playing for something as well. Jordan, what made you stick with Burrow? I know you had Chase. What made you stick with Burrow instead of possibly looking somewhere else?
Burrow was the first guy I slotted into my lineup. He got me here. It was the trade I made with Chef that got me Joe Burrow, that kept me alive in this whole damn thing. That decision was going to come down to Burrow, Mahomes, or Allen. Burrow's my horse in that race, and I never even considered moving off of him.
You did. You were very quick to answer to say, I'm keeping my people.
Yep.
You're like, that's who I picked. That's who I'm running with. Alex went ahead and made a change. Again, I don't think it was a detrimental change. It's at 13 more yards. What's that?
Sneaky. Alex in our 3-way chat, he's like, yeah, I'm going to keep mine the same too.
He did, in fact, and I had it written down that way. He didn't change it until the last minute. I have no problem.
I love it.
He changed it on the last day. I think he was kind of waiting to see what you were going to do, get a feel for it, decided the QB1 was the way to go. Again, neither of you picked wrong here. It's a 13-yard difference. So like we said earlier, I don't know that this is the guy that made the difference, but you both picked fantastic quarterbacks, and I really just wanted to see what the reasoning was behind them. So here we go, guys. It's
Jefferson was the difference.
Yeah, it's dark horse. It's Truth Serum football. There's $5,000 on the line. I really don't know what else to say other than good luck to both of you. And
great season, Alex.
Great season.
Great, man.
All our competitors, to you guys, way to play it out. Fantastic strategy, way to go. And yeah, here we go. Maybe. We're supposed to have the music. Might not get the music, guys.
I heard it for a second.
I heard it, and then it went away. That's okay.
You have to back up and go forward again.
I know. $5,000 on the line. These are how the scores played out. You notice we didn't show any scores. These are the scores. Close, a lot of back and forth here. Raw scores separated by 12.95 points. But let's not forget, there's always something going on in the trenches. The game breaker. You guys already know what's coming up, but you may not have remembered. we're gonna keep this alarm going. Apparently, you guys may or may not remember that you're going to lose the top scoring and bottom scoring player. Whoever scored the best, whoever scored the worst is coming off your roster. Scores get added, scores get taken away. In a 12.95 game, this could really go either way. Again, best of luck to both of you. And
yeah, I have no fucking idea.
There it is.
Got him.
Here we go, guys. This week's championship, $5,000 score. One more time.
Goes to Sylvester Stallone.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations to both of you for making it this far. Someone's got to win. Someone had to have the top score. Someone's getting the 5,000. And the grand champion is Truth Serum Football's Jordan Thomas. Jordan Thomas, congratulations on your win. Alex, congratulations on making it this far. Here's how it came out. The final scores. Still with the 12.95, you guys actually shared the top and bottom score with CMC and Jefferson. And so the margin of victory did not change. 12.95 in true Trenches fashion, the way it was all supposed to go down in the first place, the way every single person here has played. Grand champion of the Trenches, season 1. Congratulations, Jordan Thomas, True Serum Football. Congratulations, Alex. Don't feel bad. I know 5,000 is a lot of money, but you put it up there. 12.95 is a small margin. We'll let you go first, bud.
So what it comes down to, man, is just so many guys didn't show up. You know, that when you get late in the season, that's going to happen. I've lost money leagues before this payout, a little bit higher than the others, you know. But, you know, you're not going to win them all. Just got to keep doing it. But you're good because of the repetitions you put in.
Mm-hmm. You got to risk it for the biscuit, and you definitely did. You could have made a lot of those same choices. We could have had a lot more matching scores, but you tried to get outside the box, and it absolutely could have paid off for you. 12.95 points was the difference. Jordan Thomas, congratulations. You are the victor and the Trenches winner. What do you got to say, bud?
I would like to say that I knew this was coming, and I said all season, like, oh, I've got this, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, man, like I'm as shocked as anybody. When we got down into the playoffs, man, I didn't think I had any chance against Chef, any chance against Alex, any chance against Nikki and Gladys, any chance against Cooper. And the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, I lost my matchups. I just did enough to survive, and that was kind of my arc all year. Just survive, just do enough to stay in this. And man, I'm so fucking excited right now. I can't even express in words. Really sucks that that Alex has to come in second, because I don't think there's a better competitor out there. But man, I'm super excited, and I'm very lucky and honored to be in this position.
Congratulations. I'm going to bring back the green room, folks. I'm going to bring you all in here and show everybody on the screen. Everybody gets should get a chance to congratulate you. Guys, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, I'll also say that I was about 3 seconds of overthinking away from playing Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow.
There it is.
I'm
Jordan,
glad you did.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You played a miraculous game. You played.
Yep.
At
Jordan,
least
you're a
I
fucking
know.
savage, man. You're a fucking
least I
savage,
know-
Jordan.
I know my Cowboys may not make much noise in the playoffs, but at least we brought home 1 title for the home team this year.
Hey, there you go. All right.
There you go.
Yep.
And Chris and Roop, I have to leave real quick, but I want to thank you guys. You guys did a wonderful job, and your explanations, your making sure that we understood what was going on. You guys were really great host, and I appreciate you letting me join, and I appreciate both of you very much.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, Gladys, real
Thank you,
quick.
Gladys.
Not
can't
to
appreciate that more.
real quick, Gladys. I want to say when we made our bet and you kicked my ass and I paid up, I think one of the classiest gestures that anybody's ever done towards me is you still donating some money to that charity. And so I just want you to know that's always going to stick with me. And I thought that was amazing of you to do.
Oh, no worries, you guys. Thank you so much, you guys. And I will hopefully see you next football season, all of you.
Amen.
Adam, you too. All right, you guys,
too.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gladys.
Adam
Thank you so
do
much
better.
for the kind words as well, for the competitive spirit, for always being positive. So glad to have you in the show, and thank you again for just showing up and playing so hard like you did.
No
We
worries.
appreciate that. And the Dumb
class
Friends, on
everything,
behalf of the
yeah.
Dumb Friends League as well. Thank you for all that hard work. That was really amazing. Guys, here we are. We made it. Adam, do you have something to say on the way out?
And Jordan is a guy who works in the shadows, man. He's working behind the scenes crazy. He's, a little bit quiet on the show, like you kind of underestimate Jordan a little bit, but he's doing so much behind the scenes that, he's probably doing twice as much as any of us know about. And you're a savage, dude. You really are.
Thank you. And I didn't think it was really behind the scenes. I thought I was pretty fucking out in the open about it.
Well,
But
it was
will
only
tell
out in the open because other people kept calling you out. And like other people were kind of, ringing the alarm for you when you were doing something, or, you had your people hyping you up and whatnot, but it was never coming from you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would just like to say he's currently in the shadows, but Alex was my running mate. Alex and Chef, man, we were the three amigos. Like, really, we were working every angle, and I can't tell you how many times Alex would talk to Adam, I would talk to Cooper, and Chef would talk to Nikki, and then we would come together to nail all three of them, or who insert person.
This is a
here.
testament to what was actually
my
going
alliance.
on behind the scenes.
This is for you got to save that for the reunion show where we talk trash and behind the scenes stuff.
Bring everybody back. Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Dude, Chef was always blowing up the DMs, man. Chef was just DM crazy, man.
Let me tell you guys a secret strategy. Okay, I had this strategy, and when we were in a group text, day one, I was like, wait, okay, so if I just blow up the group text, how many people might turn off the noise or just make it where notifications don't pop up so they miss things?
Adam,
there we go.
Adam, we appreciate you, of course, for playing. We appreciate you coming on the show and adding your little spice to it. Best of luck, Adam Hull Sports. You just recently hit a milestone with how many articles you published. Is that correct?
Well, it was from traffic. It was I just hit 4 million views. So
4 million views
in about a year and a half.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's a
Good
lot
for you, man.
Well, we can't wait to talk to you
Hustling.
again and work with you in the future. Again, thank you
Keep
for
hustling.
stopping in. And thank you so much for what you brought to the game, because it was a lot, and I know it was much more than I think you probably give yourself credit for.
Let's run it back next year. Let's do it again. You guys did an awesome job. If you're doing it again, count me in. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Adam Holst at Adam Holst Sports, everybody. Alex, final words on your way out. Again, I'm sorry you didn't win, but 100% congratulations for making it this far. And I guess when you form these alliances and work together like you did, someone eventually is going to come out on top. Would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, definitely do it again. One of these things that's crazy to me, I've played a lot of leagues, but these guys are writing articles. They're doing really in-depth research, and how many of these people have one or two different outlets where they're giving fantasy football advice, and I'm competing against the head of a whole following of a show.
Absolutely. Root, do you have anything for Alex on his way out?
He played a heck of a season. He even made me laugh. I remember, he was eating on camera or something, just crunching. I was just laughing. I think I remember texting you, and I was like, "Dude, is this guy for real? Like, is Is this who we pick? Like, I love it. Like, is he trying? He was eating eggs, I remember, and I was like, what is going on here? Like he's throwing people off. Like if I was in the competition, I'd have been thrown off. I'd be like, no way. I was like, this guy over I could see him in the corner of my eye eating whole eggs, hard boiled eggs. I'm like, okay, you got to step up your game if you want to come to the trenches. That's what I learned when Alex came to the table.
Alex, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being such a competitor. Thanks for coming 12.95 points away from taking this thing down. We wish you nothing but luck, nothing but the best, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it this far.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got to get back to it, guys, but thanks for the opportunity. It was great. You know, like me, Jordan, and Chef, one of us was getting in. It didn't matter who it was. We knew somebody was moving forward.
All three of them making the semifinals. Congratulations, Alex. But the man of the hour, Mr. Jordan Thomas. I'm going to bring in the highlight one more time. Jordan Thomas, there he is, Truth Serum Football's own. Just a magnificent human being, fun to work with. I've worked with you throughout the season. Again, you've mentioned this, but I have to ask it. I have a responsibility to ask this one more time. When you first signed on, you said you knew you had a chance. You thought you'd be able to take this down. As the competition went on, you were like, oh, crap, these guys can play. Was there ever any doubt? I mean, you were up for elimination a couple times in the playoffs, and yet here you sit on top of the throne.
The biggest doubt came with boot camp. Boot camp bit me over, chewed me up, and spit me back out. I thought I was done. I thought it was dead in the water. And like I said, man, it was I looked at this as a fantasy football competition, but if there's one thing I love as much as fantasy football, it's Survivor. I am a Survivor super fan. And so I really did. I went in with that Survivor mentality, and I wouldn't be here without my alliance, man. Chef, everybody all damn season tried to get Travis Kelce off of me, couldn't do it. And then finally, Chef's like, look, I'll give you Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And I had to do it, and it got me here. But it was nothing about this was easy. All of it was fun, and I'm honored to be the champion.
You took it down. Roop, there it is. Final words for our champ.
He said his bank account is about to get a deposit, and I'm going to have to agree with him. That's exactly what's about to happen. He said it long ago, and he meant it, and guess what? It's about to happen.
Survivor fan, master of the show, had his alliance, rode it through to the end, as we've seen done so many times. You have emulated the dream that you kind of wanted to follow, took it all the way to the end. $5,000 coming to you, my friend. Well done. Job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the trenches this season. We hope you'll join us over the off season and see the improvements that the show makes. We absolutely hope you'll come back next year, and maybe you'll be a part of the competition. I don't know. Maybe you'll be one of the people that are sitting here at the end with Jordan Thomas from Truth Serum Football, $5,000 richer for outliving, outlasting, out-surviving, out-conniving, emphasis on the knife theme. And congratulations to you, Jordan. Congratulations to all our competitors. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, as always, to my co-host with the most, Mr. Luke. There it is. Cannot do this without you. The trenches, it's cutthroat. It'll make you do things that you might not otherwise do. It might make you do things that you wanted to do all the time. I don't know, but
Jordan's too confident. We have to make it harder next year.
Yeah. At the end of
Boot camp week 1.
Could be standing there with $5,000 like this young man right here. Jordan Thomas, your season 1 champion of the trenches. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, boys.
See you later, everybody. Be safe. Happy fantasy football.